Arsenal traveled to London Stadium to take on West Ham, the Hammers, in a London battle. And as usual, coming off a Europa League midweek match, all the way back through the Wenger years, Arsenal starts off like, Aubameyang gave the team talk, Everybody was just like, this is bullshit. What are we doing out here? I mean, talk about starting off slow, Fitz. Answer that, and then what did you think about that lineup? What was your first thought?
Yeah. So the lineup thing was just there were some baffling things about it. The Chambers start I questioned, of course.
Yes.
Just had to question it. Then I look and I see Cedric's on the bench, but Bellerin's not even on the bench.
That was my first thought.
But then the other thing, just because it's hard to keep up right now, I went to go look at the schedule just to make sure, we're not playing this Thursday, right?
It's international break. Break.
Yeah, we got a break right now. I don't understand why going into the break playing the 5th place team in Premier League.
Yeah, it's a London derby.
Yeah,
it's a big match.
It seemed weird, and it did feel like we were at the point where ESR had cemented that he needs to be out there. If he could play, he needs to be out there.
Right. I mean, if you didn't play him because he played on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Then give Aubameyang a break too. Shit.
Yeah.
Because he clearly didn't have any energy. I tripped off. Bellerin didn't even make the bench.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like you were saying, I really thought Cedric, this was a game he was going to play in because of the long international break and because he didn't play on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. I thought with no play on Thursday, for sure we were going to see him today.
Right.
And that all being said, we'll get to it. We'll be analyzing Chambers too.
Right. Even with all that, Chambers still played a hell of a game. No complaints about him at all. And we'll get into that later. But the first half, I mean,
man, it's so hard to say it about your own team, but we're still capable of being a fragile mentality. We let things pile up on each other, and
unprepared.
When you see close-ups on the field, you see people hanging their heads and throwing their hands in the air and just very dramatic about things, where it just seems like we play a lot of teams that just they're not so fragile,
Right. They feel like we can beat these marks when they when they're playing Arsenal, especially if you press us. If we can't do our little play it out from the back,
that's a little analyzation you came up with years ago, and it's a writing theme we've just laughed about for years. Is right. That's how teams that have the squad that are able to do it definitely look at an Arsenal game like, you know what, man, we just gonna power through these fools, just power through them.
And that was the only reason why Tottenham lost last week, really. Is because they didn't do that.
All they had to do was just come at us.
They just let us kind of let us play. But the lack of preparedness at the start of the match, Aubameyang out on the right for the first 20 minutes, 2 goals down. He usually plays on the left when he's playing, and Saka plays on the right. They tried Saka on the left and Aubameyang on the right. Why even mess around with it? Why? You know what I mean?
I am the one person that was saying, man, we need to get Saka and Tierney on the same side of the pitch. But I did put that disclaimer that if it's Aubameyang on the pitch, then I understand that, Aubameyang should be out left and Saka should be out right.
Yeah, just because you never see him on the right.
Yeah.
I've never seen Aubameyang play out there wide right. You know, I'm sure he might have do it every now and then. So that's what makes it weird. But yeah, it's just a bunch of weird shit jumping off, and that comes down to Arteta and tactics. Like I'm sure he tells Aubameyang and Saka, "Hey, you guys are going to switch," and then next thing you know, we're 2 goals down. The first goal, Lingard, I think it was. Yeah, Lingard. It was a great strike, but we were scrambling around in that back four, just
really making a bunch of mistakes and
Antonio
not covering their back, and just really stressed out by Antonio.
Physicality
and that Suchek dude or whatever that just kept running up and just like getting in the middle of shit.
Everything Partey wants to be. I saw it in Suchek. Thundering around the pitch, getting in the box, trying to get on the end of things. It's a shame we start games out like this. Every time we come on here and we do a podcast, it's like, we started, we go down early, we gave up a dub goal. But the second goal we gave up.
That's when the whole came to me. Like, you know what? We are just like weak-minded.
We're just
like when you see the replay and you see everybody like
the ref pulls out the spray. Like he's getting ready to mark the spot and do the whole 9 yards.
I got other complaints about that whole thing.
Yeah.
That just don't make sense, kind of like, but then I started thinking about, clearly this ref's out of shape. He's out of shape and he just watched Lingard go ahead and just do it, and he was just like, fuck it.
He put that spray, he put that shit away so fast. Like he was in his pocket. He was like, oh shit, cool. Let him go. But the whole team as a whole. That's some late Wenger shit. Those are the late Wenger years. That whole first half reminded me of the late Wenger years.
Well, and then at the end of that second goal was Leno gives it up to the near side corner that you just can't possibly squeeze it in, right?
He's already there.
Yeah, he's standing. He guarded it.
He's on the near post, and then he just lets it go in with So, people love Leno though, and they love Xhaka. So we're never gonna stop that. If you say anything bad about Xhaka on my timeline, fools will come at you tooth and nail.
Man.
So it's just weird, and that's weird in itself. The fan base is all weird. You know what I mean? Xhaka, what is it? Anyway? This isn't a game to really get on Xhaka. The whole team as a whole, and the coaching, and the tactics. And that first 20 minutes was a shit show, and it showed. We go down 2-0 early, and still no fight back from the Gunners.
Yeah,
everybody's just kind of cruising around there like Aubameyang, and the only people that were really giving it their all, I'd say, would be Laka, Odegaard, and probably Chambers. Everybody else was just kind of whatever. Yeah, no big deal.
I like how this podcast is it's gonna flip today, because we usually go through kind of what we were disappointed in late,
and
it's like a tale of two games. Like things were just so out of hand for like the first 30 minutes. And it looked crazy, but and I'm not acting like I'm some kind of like, but I still was like just tripping a little bit. Like, man, I know we can nick one, right? Let's just get one right now. Let's get one.
Right.
Then we got one, and then it was like, it feels like if we get one more, we can get two more, like.
Right. Before we got the one, though, Antonio with just a powerful header, to make it 3-0. So we went down 3-0, I think, within the first 20 minutes of the game. And it happened so quick. I was still a tiny bit optimistic, that, maybe we can get one back before halftime. And then Chambers is going up on that right-hand side, and he looks up. This is something Bellerin doesn't do. He looked up. He saw the space Lacazette was in and fired, like you always say, the right type of cross.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He picked the right type of cross to get to Laka. Laka does this thing in a phone booth, controls it, and fires it home.
It just proven to you, like, I mean, it's what I said about how, like, I think Arsenal players are. We can't lump them in the air and hope somebody gets on the end of it.
Right.
We have to put in low, hard ones and hope for the best. But you know what? People like Laka, so much class.
Yeah.
He controlled that with no problem, put it down onto his boot.
And fired
it. And just got it.
Just whipped it home. And after the match, the reporter was telling him, yeah, they gave that an own goal. And he was like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed about this.
Twisting, turning. That's a penalty, is it? No, he's still going. Oh, how about that? How about that?
Thank you for tuning in to Caught in Two Minds. Please head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and review. All feedback is much appreciated. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at CITM Podcasts, at Guna Rush, and at eMarshall Comedy. The music of this podcast is brought to you by Statics. If you like what you hear, please head on over to staticsmusic.com and be sure to follow them on Twitter and Instagram at Statics Music. That's STATX Music. Peace.